All right, everyone, welcome back. Appreciate you guys showing up. Today we're going to do something a little different. If you are new to this channel because you're searching Sprinter vans, we are going to be talking about Sprinter vans, but the reason why I purchased a Sprinter van is I travel around to quite a few different states throughout the year and do competitive shooting. But today we're going to be talking about the Sprinter van. The Sprinter van that we're going to be talking about is a 2022 Entegra launch. This is the 144-inch version. We're going to show some video footage of it, and then we're going to talk about it. I think this whole thing, there's this the van life, and there's all this stuff. But I get a lot of people when I'm at a match. They're man, what's up, guys? They're asking questions, a lot of questions on a Sprinter van. People like to go travel. They like to go on vacation. A Sprinter van is not for everybody. I will tell you that right now. You got massive motorhomes, and then you have tiny little Sprinter vans. Your idea of what camping is compared to what other people think camping is can be a huge spectrum, whether it's glamping, as they call it. Basically, you're in a beautiful, massive motorhome that's a bazillion miles long, that has every luxury, every closet storage space you'd ever need. Everything has a perfect spot for it. And then you have a Sprinter van. And a Sprinter van is kind of like those people that live in tiny homes. That's kind of a newer thing out there, the whole tiny home thing, and everybody's trying to shrink down what they need and all that carbon footprint stuff and all that kind of stuff. The reason why I went with the 144-inch four-wheel drive Sprinter van was because, not all the time, but sometimes you will go to a match out in the middle of nowhere, and you need to, not so much four-wheel drive because it's usually a gravel road. Sometimes it's super muddy, sometimes it's this and that, but it's you need to have a little bit of clearance between in order to get around, to get to the match. So that was the reason why I went with that. Now the negative part of having such a short, small 144-inch wheelbase Sprinter van is not a lot of room for everything. So you got to be a kind of a Jenga master, per se, to get what you think you need into the van, how you're going to utilize the van. When I first picked up the van, I will say I've had this thing 3 months, and I've put like 5,400 miles on it or something like that. It has been a godsend. It has been able to let me stay at the range, not having to get up 2.5 hours early for driving time, all that kind of stuff. To get to the match has been really cool. Huge bonuses are being able to take a shower before or after the match. There's a lot of perks having the Sprinter van. Now, they're very expensive. A lot of people will basically buy a shell, and then they'll convert it. And they've come up, I've seen a lot of them where they've come up with some really cool ideas on how to store stuff, and it's kind of cool. I didn't want to go that route. I was like, I'm 50 years old. I just want to go shoot, so I'm going to buy something that's already done. Let me jump out real quick and say hello to everybody. We've got Big Country, He Saw, George Wilson, Willard, John Criderman, Hold Left Edge and Senate. Hopefully your wife's doing well, my man. We got X-Ring out there. Let's see, Sprinter van is a dry, warm place to sleep with some comfort. Digging the face here. Yeah, I don't know. This thing's driving me crazy. But been kind of having some fun with it, but we'll see. But it's just, it's kind of neat because when I first got it, one of the matches that I went to was Missouri, and I live out in North Carolina. So it was a cool experience traveling, basically kind of a good third of the way across the United States, and getting a chance to test everything out, and I've been loving it. I'd say the only drawback so far has been just trying to figure out where everything is. So originally had set it up, which I thought would be what I wanted, and then as the weeks and the months go by of actually using it, you're finding yourself like, I never use this thing, so I'm going to jam it way in the back, or I don't need. But we're gonna put some video footage up And we are going to, what's up, Bullet Speed Marine? Who else is out there? Mr. Kreideman. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of learning curves on figuring out all the different fuse panels, figuring out that there's actually the jack underneath the floor thing, and just kind of a lot of stuff you'd learn a lot quicker if you actually read the owner's manual per se. But I've never been good at that, so it's always learning on the go or needing to figure something out. Now, I've had a couple issues. One upgrade that I bought, which I thought was going to be really cool, which is now just on the cool thing, was on the Sprinter van, which is made by Mercedes-Benz. It has basically a 360-degree cameras all the way around. And after you drive 11 miles an hour, because it cuts off at 11, that no longer works when you're going forward. And now you have no options of being able to see anything out of any of the cameras. So you can basically buy a module. I picked up that module. I don't have the information handy of who the company was, but it was like $230. You basically turn the vehicle off, turn it on, plug it in, and then now your system's programmed so that when you're driving down the street, you can hit the cameras and you can see any camera that you want. So there's some perks to that, especially like hauling a trailer, or maybe you got some storage boxes that are attached to the back of your van. You can make sure all that stuff's doing well, and so on. Being able to see cars behind you, that was the reason why I originally got it, because I have the two pop outs on the side that flare out so that there's more headroom for the bed. And then we'll get into those videos here in a sec. But the problem is it really kind of makes it where you can't see if you have a small car behind you that's right up on your butt. So just being able to see your surroundings a little bit better with the cameras makes it kind of nice. So I did go ahead and pick that up. But let's do this, and then we'll have some fun. Switch cameras here. And hopefully you guys can
so we got the Sprinter van. I
Tell
just
me if you guys can
recently,
hear
not
that or
too
not.
recent though, still lazy bones. This should have been cleaned up already. But I have not cleaned up yet, but some of the things I want to talk about on the 2022 Entegra Sprinter van. This is the launch 4x4 version. And I am plugged into the house right now, so got a huge shout out to John Kreideman for coming over and doing that. If you guys aren't familiar with this at all, basically this is a pop out. You can see that it comes out about 5-6 inches. It's got a pop out window, which is really nice. I use this every time I sleep. It's got a canister style toilet. It's got a gray water holding tank just for sink water and shower water. It doesn't have any black in it. It's got a ladder, and that ladder comes off, and then you can utilize it on the sides of the vehicle. Some of the things, you see my dope cards from some of the matches. Once we open up the back, I really want to show you guys something that is super cool. So this right here is a 48-inch, I believe, by 46-inch pallet.
How's that,
This
guys?
is an agricultural pallet that you can have all four sides closed down, but also there's a door, and I'll try to get some video footage of that. But what's nice is that this thing fit in here basically perfect. There was a couple of
really
options
bad
that I had to do, and this is the best thing that I've seen so far.
Let me pause it real quick. I'll wait here a sec. See what, did it work after I turned the volume down a little bit, or is it still really bad echo? If so, I'll just kill it and talk about it. Let's just do that anyways. Let me do that. I'm going to turn the volume off. All right. This will work out better. So this box here that you see is an agricultural box, and it works freaking amazing. So this is a 48 by 46 box. I don't know what type of agriculture it's made for, but it's only about, I don't know, about 2 feet tall. So it works out good. The whole thing folds down, and then there's actually doors on 2 sides that you can open this way. All the doors will, or the walls basically will fold in, And then when they're all out, you can actually access it through a door on the front and the back. I did have to do some cutting, and let me play this thing in order to get a little bit.
I know there's a company out there where it's got the drawers that you can do this.
And there's a track
the
down
price
below
is stupid
that
crazy. This thing is heavy duty plastic, just like those boxes are, but has a lot more ability to store a lot more gear. So one of the things that I liked about this, and in this configuration,
well, there's not a lot of
you can see that you can see my rifles and that kind of stuff.
But
But when I have it in more of a travel, where I'm actually not just going to the range, this door comes up, the bed basically sits on top of it, and it kind of basically turns this into a locked box, which is really cool.
For forerunners and stuff like that as well. But
things that I had to do was
this actually works great. So
there's an access panel here
just to be able to get to the
water
shower.
source. You can see I got the 90-degree on there. I have the pressure regulator on there, and then a small piece,
and then a small hose
that goes onto this filter right there too when I need it.
And that
so when I fill the tank,
the water's filtered.
It makes it nice and easy. Right now, this thing is being held in,
but it's been
strategically with some tie downs to the already put in.
Every once in a while.
Basically, the little channels that they already have, you can see them right here.
Things been in there ever since.
This is mounted into the floor, and then it comes with
it's camping
some tie-down holders,
beach or throwing,
and you can move it around to where you want. But basically, this is set up for this box. There's still room to access the panel here.
You run the walls all the way up on all sides.
And then on this side, I still got some room. You can kind of see down there where I put the wheels and some fishing poles or whatever I want down there.
There's a key.
Now let me go back over here.
Up in the front, they'll actually
get you
guys so you can't raise the bed
an idea of the rest of this.
So basically turns the motor off. So
it's got an awning on the top here. It's got the door is fully open right now.
You got the door
to make access to.
There's a table that folds out.
Basically,
right
this
there.
table.
Two latches.
This will come out.
And then you can kind of sit outside, have a little bit of lunch, have a snack.
And then I have the screen in right now.
Now, the one thing that I really like, especially out here,
unzip this section and
unzip
unzip this if you want, and then roll it up, and then you can just walk in and out without having to do this. But this actually has magnetic strip on here on the right side in order to get to stuff, or so you can just pass through. Now this thing's messy. I won't lie, but I've been using it. I've been 5,000 miles on it.
All that kind of stuff.
It's got storage area underneath where the driver is. Right here is kind of my hat storage. It's a little dark in here right now. I got some patches. This is like a kind of a carpet, so these patches. My Australian buddy gave me that patch, that one and that one. But you can put some morale patches. Good spot for concealed weapon. You got some.
Oh, there we go. So how about now? That should work. The covers that came with the vehicle for the sunshades, basically that whole front interior turns into like a living room area. Thanks, Andrew, for saying that. There we go. You got this. That basically, I bought a 2-inch memory pad for the bed, and all that up there. I have my electric stovetop. That right there is the table that fits in between, right behind basically the driver's seat. But once you figure out, now I will say, and let me pause it for a sec, because I don't think it's been talked about, is, let me go back a hair. When you originally get these covers here, basically the front window one's normal. It's easy to figure out. You slide it in, there's a crack where you put it around the rear view mirror, and then you put the 2 flaps down, and it works freaking perfect. The problem is when you grab these things, and if you're unfamiliar with them as much as I was, you have these little magnets that go around the windows, and when the doors are closed, there's really no metal to like attach these magnets to. So I'm trying to put them on there, and it's falling off, and I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Who would have came up with this? But weeks later, I figured out that you actually open the door, you put the magnets on, and then you close the door, and it works perfectly amazing. So it's just all the little growing pains. Maybe that'll help somebody as well. But yeah, it's just little silly, stupid things. You're like, this doesn't seem right. So you can see up on top, we got a few patches. But that's all the camping gear. That's a fly rod, a conventional pole, just a bunch of stuff that I have down there. To the right there is basically where I keep all my clothes in that thing right there. And storage is very, very, very limited, and it makes it really tough to figure out what you're going to do. So basically got socks, underwear, pants, shorts, all that kind of stuff just sits behind the driver's side there. See, I got basically what I was doing when I was making that video is I'm figuring out, okay, this is not where I need this. This is not where I need this. So I'm going to move it around. So there you got all your onboard dash stuff. I'm talking about knowing where your basically your breakers are and your fuse boxes, because I had a problem with the water heater not working, and then it was turning on, turning off. And basically what that is it drips diesel fuel. It drips diesel fuel, and that's how it basically heats the water. Well, it kept turning on and off and on and off, and it was a Friday night, and I wasn't smart enough to figure out if I pulled the 2 fuses, it would work. So there's kind of the onboard thing. It'll tell you how much solar you got left in your batteries, how much intake your solar's coming in at. The fan right there is I love this fan. You can click it, so anytime it's hotter than 78 degrees, it'll suck the air out. But that back window right there, that's the one I always have that open, and I run that fan. So I don't run the AC at night. It will run, but I'm not sure how fast it'll suck up the battery, so I've never been a fan of doing that. That'll keep the bugs out. You can run it the other way where it'll stay dark if you want. But that's been a godsend, sleeping in the back of that van. Super comfortable if you're 5'9" and shorter. I know you can probably sleep in it if you're 6 foot tall. Here's basically the shower. You got the little hanger if you got some wet clothes or whatever to dry. That has a fan. You can open it up and then turn the light on and power it up. So just some things that have been working out really well. Love it. Originally, it came with 2 storage shelves that you can use. And originally, I was thinking that was the way I was going to run it. I would put all my clothes in there and kind of use that as my closet. But I take a shower so much that it just makes it nice not to mess with it and leave that storage area available. So I don't have to mess with it. That's how you flush the toilet right there. That goes into a canister style toilet, so it never gets in. It's basically by itself. Just a little hack there is some Velcro on the shampoo / body wash. And I love this thing. Being a short little van has a lot of perks for getting it to access to places. That's the shelf I was telling you about. You can put in the shower to make a storage. And there's the other one as well. Not much room at all. I'm kind of talking about it right here on there. There's different levels where you can put it. You can take a crap in the shower at the same time. Yeah, you could. You could almost take a crap, Val, take a shower, and cook breakfast if you wanted to. It's tight. But the bonuses are you have everything you need. It's way bigger than my 4Runner. You save a lot of time and energy trying to find places, some hotel to stay at that's close enough to a match. But it also, right here, I'm kind of talking about wanting to put like a closet or a way to hang on my, like long clothes, like shirts and some pants. But I definitely need a bigger shower if there's only room for 1 bottle of shampoo. Yeah. This right here, this was one of the things originally that I first did. And you can see that there's like a clothes hanger. Let me pause it real quick. There's basically a rod there, but you can't get on the ends of it. So you have to come up with a rod system. And those little clips there, you can actually spread apart, get over that bar that's permanently mounted, and then you can clip it on. So those are a dark out, blackout kind of drapes that I got from Walmart. And those work really good if you're just going to take a quick shower or you need to change or something. and you don't have to worry about putting up all the window coverings. The window coverings work really good when you want to open up the van as far as get more room out of it, where you're turning the seats, the driver's seat and the passenger seat actually turn around, so it kind of turns into your like little living room area. But if you have it set up where you're just at the match, you just want to do a quick shower or use the restroom or whatever the case is, then just pull those curtains and you're kind of good to go. So that works out pretty good. That was one of the first things I did. I'm just basically showing here that you can't unhook them to get like normal shower rod kind of or drape kind of hangers around. It does really darken up that area, having all those blinds in there, so you don't have to worry about if you want to sleep in and keep it nice and dark, you can. See, how are you going to drive that thing stage to stage at Clinton House? I did last time, Val. Basically what I do is it's just like that. I got the rifles in the back, and when you open the back doors, you're good to go. This is just showing that you can see the magnets on there. But the seats, the whole Mercedes-Benz portion of it, meaning the front area, they really did a great job of designing it. Everything is simple and easy to use. The screen, the entertainment screen is quite large, and it makes it really nice finding a radio station or whatever you're trying to do, or the cameras. It makes it really nice. So they did a good job of having a nice big screen in there. When it comes to how big it is exactly inch-wise, I have no idea. I know the one before the 2022, I don't know what year it was, but it was a smaller one. Not as nice, not as basically user-friendly, so it's kind of neat. But this does have a four-wheel drive, does have a low range as well. It's got some off-road lights in the front, and one of those big light bars in the front. You can see the air conditioner right there on the left is in the back of the bed area. And then it has all those shades as well. So if you were camping out in a nice, beautiful area, say, I went to, it was quite a few months ago now, but I went to, what was it called? Where they do all the big, Wicked Tuna does all this stuff. The Outer Banks. Camped at the Outer Banks for like 4 days. When I was waiting for my camping spot, there was a nice little beach area. I had the doors open, had the screen down, and it was just a really nice, cool place to hang out on the bed, check out outside, catch a little nap. It's got those two little lights that come down, reading lights. There's the other side that's got the pop out as well. Gives you a little more storage area. There's quite a bit of stuff on the bed right now because I'm moving stuff around, trying to figure out what works the best. So if you're not familiar, that bed actually has a motor and it goes up into the ceiling. So if you want to run like mountain bikes inside, say you didn't have the box for you weren't shooting matches or whatever the case was, you could run bikes in there and like short kayaks, like whitewater kayaks and stuff like that. One of the things I will see, a little upgrade there, you can see on the Sprinter van, Rick Shagwagon, is like down below right here. These are all the drains. Let's see, right? No, too much. Right there, down below, there is all the drains to drain the tanks, which makes it kind of nice as well. One of the things I will say is they make, if you guys have a Sprinter van, they make a half door lock if you don't have electric doors, so that you don't have to open the door all the way up. That's actually, yeah, that's a magnet, all right. Right there, you put that half door open, close, lock thing. Right there, it's basically a little wedge that has a bump in it and then goes back down. So the track will go over it and stop in the half position. You got some 110 plugs on the outside, side steps. which works out really good. There's actually some lighting down there as well. Lighting up there, you can see some 2 speakers. So if you want to rock out at the old campground, you can. That ladder that's on the back can actually be taken off and put on all the sides. The hitch works great. One of the things that sucks is there is no bumper per se to step on. So when you're trying to work out of the back of your truck, having some type of step right there. I know Owl makes one, very expensive, but it actually works really good, and you still have access to your hitch. So that's something that I'm looking at getting. It's basically the width of that hitch, and it's kind of like a 6-inch plate that sticks out as a step. So you don't really lose too much ground clearance or any of that kind of stuff. You got a tube there for, black hose or whatever. You got air. So if you need to air down or fix something, or in my case, blow up some water, air things to have fun in the water with, it's all right there. There's also one up front. If you lift the engine cab up, there is one there. You got a little small running board step there. That's actually the pipe that runs. I can't think of the name of it, but it basically drips diesel, and that converts it over into a source of heat. It burns, and then you can either heat water or you can heat the actual interior of the vehicle, and then the fans kick on and blow warm air. That's the rims. Talking about the tire size. I will say that this runs very smooth, feels good on the road. It doesn't feel top heavy at all. You can see I got a little rust on the old rotors just because it's been sitting there for a couple days. Welcome to North Carolina. There's the rack up there. A lot of people put stuff up there. You can see the light bar as well. Kayaks, that kind of stuff, or surfboards, or whatever the case is. That sliding window right there is awesome as well. If you're working out at night and you need some lights, there's some on the driver's side. Maybe you're working on draining your hoses or whatever the case is. That plug right there is for additional solar. Up on top of the roof is 200, I think it's two 200-watt panels. So that just basically helps keep your lithium battery powered up. The Sprinter van does come with an additional alternator so that when you are driving or the engine's running, you can keep that battery charged up. So when you get to wherever you're going, it's recharged. Basically, I'm showing you that ladder hooks onto the side. So if you need to undo some kayaks or whatever the case is, that actually hooks, and then the legs actually are on that plastic portion right here, so it helps out. It doesn't mess up the paint and that kind of stuff. But it's been a lot of fun. Let me get back to, and that's basically the 2022 launch Sprinter van. That is a 30-amp cord. So most campgrounds, if they have them, if they haven't been already filled from other people, all you need is basically a 30-amp breaker. Now in here, I'm trying to open this thing with one hand, and it's kicking my ass basically. But that space you see right there, where that I coil that electrical cord in there and jam that in there, and it fits really good. So just a good spot to put your cord, so it takes up less room in your vehicle because you're starting off with not very much. That is lockable. Keep people from hopefully stealing your ladder. There's the back valve, like you asked. So basically, I just work out of the back if I'm shooting 3-gun. And if I'm shooting precision long-range stuff, I actually have room in front of that to run my my cart, my 3-gun cart, so I can keep all my tripods and rifle and spotting scopes and all that kind of stuff. That little box thing you see there is actually a flat hose that I just put that on top of. So if I'm at a campground, I can run, and I need to fill the tanks. I've never had to do that yet. It does come with, I think it's 22 gallons of fresh water, which seems to work out great. if you shower correctly, where you're basically soap up and then turn the water back on kind of deal, you can save a lot of water that way. And then, of course, in God we trust, an IY6C van. So that's the Isyour6covered van. So let me get back to this and say hi to everybody. But yeah, I've been wanting to do a video, been having a lot of people ask about the whole van thing and how I liked it and all that kind of stuff. Daniel says, when you see Rick install a LED disco light. Let's see. I'm curious. Got a question there. How are you going to drive this stage to stage? See. Talked about that. Did you catch some air in that thing? Jumping the bumps. It actually works really good off-roading. Just down the street, not too far away, is Pisgah Forest. And when I first got it, I stayed the night in front of the house. And then I went and started camping out just, 30 minutes away, just making sure everything works. Checking out the off-road lights, making sure the four-wheel drive worked, low and all that kind of stuff, and just kind of get all the bugs out of it and figure out where and what and how everything works. And that process is still taking place today. The more I use it, and I've been using the heck out of it, I would say it's been a good investment for me. Having the option of being able to stay somewhere longer, being able to travel and leave for a match, like a week early, and thanks, Daniel, and visit some sites or visit some friends and all that kind of stuff makes it a lot nicer, because now I'm not basically trying to wake up super early to drive 8 hours to a match or to a hotel and then shoot the match and then drive, a whole bunch of hours home and turn it into a big, almost like a not fun kind of event. So this has been more of a making the whole experience of going and shooting more beneficial, more fun, all that kind of stuff. It's not as I think it was like 36 matches last year, something like that, or maybe more. I can't remember, but it's a lot of traveling. There's a cost of fuel. This is diesel, so it's like right now is like the worst time to own a diesel. But not paying for hotel rooms definitely helps. And I want to go travel to these matches. I'm gonna go. So it's cost of fuel is just part of the pain and agony. Then that's what it is. But it's worth it at the end. Appreciate it, K. Roberts. Is it for everybody? I would say no. Kind of getting back to the whole Sprinter van versus RV kind of thing is there's huge bonuses having a Sprinter van, and that's access. I can go park right along, some Forest Service thing and camp right along the river's edge, spend the night, no issues. I used to have a Class A motorhome. It was either 32 or 34 foot Allegra. It was a really nice motorhome. The problem is it was too massive. You always worried that you were going to not be able to find a place to turn around. It was just too big. It worked out good when the kids were small and the wife and all that, the four of us, to have some room, but now it's just me basically, and I don't need all that storage, and I'd rather have it, the access of being able to go off-roading and get to places that most RVs aren't going to be able to get to. So you're giving away some stuff and getting some stuff. You get rid of all your room and storage, and you get to go to places that most people won't ever see. So that's kind of the 50-50. Which 50 do you want will depend on where you are and what you want to do. I did have a chance to try out. A buddy of mine has a Sprinter. It's the 170. It's the longer version. So if you're looking for a little more room, and it's a dually, and the interior was a lot different than mine, and his was specifically built for what he does. And he's a battalion chief as well, but on his days off, he's either snowboarding, mountain biking, or at kind of the river, just always having fun kind of deal. So his back storage is set up for all his bikes, all his snowboards, all that kind of stuff. He does have the dually, so he can haul more stuff if he wants to. And the way he has it designed is a lot more open. It doesn't have, having the extra, 30 inches or whatever, makes it nice. His bed is the other way. Instead of it being poking out of the sides where you need the pop outs, his is the other way, so it's longer. He didn't need the pop outs kind of deal. But I did get a chance to drive it. He's like, hey, drive this thing. Let's go drive this thing around and tell me the difference between yours and mine, because he was curious as much as I was to see if the dually handled better, worse, if it felt like it was a lot longer to drive around. Being a 144-inch wheelbase Sprinter van, I can park in any normal parking spot I would park my 4Runner in. So I don't have to worry about hanging out too far or blocking the road or any of that kind of stuff. So it's a huge benefit. It actually drives like a smaller vehicle, which makes it nice. So there's no downfall there of worrying about, I'm not going to fit in that spot, that kind of stuff. I will say that the motor is a V6 diesel turboed. At the top end of it is very basically. It gets up and goes. It has like this it takes a minute for the turbo to kind of wind up. So when you're getting ready to take off from, say, a stop sign, it's like, oh, and then whee. So that's kind of weird. It was getting weird, or getting used to it took a little bit. But I will say, like, when you're doing 80 on the freeway and you're trying to go up a grade, it doesn't downshift. It doesn't downshift and try to like regain RPMs as it's going. It's basically, it is what it is, when your foot's all the way in it. So it's not like you're going to be doing some high-speed pursuits in this thing. I can't park my Ram in single spot no matter what I do. Full crew cab, 8-foot bed makes it. Yeah, see, I think I don't know how much shorter we are than you, but it's nice because I can just pull in and boom, I'm done. I can send you one of my old Boost controllers, simple install. It is new, just old model. What is that? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that was one of the things that was really weird about when you first get in this thing, it's like, good, and then it's, whoa. So that takes a minute, because when you pull out in front of people and you're like trying to get into it, there's all of a sudden it takes a minute for the ass to like get going. It's like, then it kicks in, and then it works really good. And then when you get to like a top speed meaning like you're on the freeway doing 70, and then you're going up a grade and you want to stay at 70 or 80 or whatever, there's really no down. I couldn't get mine to downshift to like get some more ass into it and get the RPMs back up. It does have paddle shifters. I guess you could downshift and see what'll take place, but it has been an amazing adventure. I know there's a lot of channels that do like kind of van life where they're living in their van and they're, out adventuring and stuff. Not really trying to do that per se, but when I am somewhere, it's nice to see what's going on, check out the sites, go find some magic fishing hole somewhere on a stream or whatever the case is. Daniel says, good thing I only need a 5-foot bed. You're so funny, Daniel. But it's been a lot of fun. Super glad I picked it up. It has been it's been pretty cool because I've been able to do quite a bit of stuff with it, and it's still brand new to me. 3 months. been killing the miles. I think 5,400 miles on it so far. So it's been quite a few places. It's been to quite a few states already, just shooting matches throughout, the eastern portion of the United States. So it's been fun. Had a chance to take it to Texas. No, I didn't take it to Texas. Took it to Missouri for the championships, which was really nice. And I'm definitely glad I did it, for sure. But you guys got any questions on the van stuff? I basically wanted to do this before the normal live chat and kind of hit some of the van stuff because there was a lot of people asking about it. But if not, I will get out of here. I'll give you guys a second to respond. All right. With that said, you guys have a wonderful night or day, depending on where you are at. And we'll see you guys soon. You guys take care. If you have any questions, or if you watch this later, if you have any questions on it, and Drew Bradley, appreciate it. If you have any questions on the Sprinter van or anything like that, put them down in the comments section, and I will try to answer them after it goes, after the broadcast ends. You guys have a great night. What is the oil change requirement? Still 3,000 and 4,000 miles. That Drew Bradley, that new one's 10, so I got to wait for it to hit 10 to do that. Which just, I don't know if it's because I'm used to the whole 3,000 thing, especially your first oil change. It should be like, it's doing the most, the particles, all that kind of stuff. You think there'd be the most stuff in there, right? And why would you wait for 10,000 miles? That thing has never, that was the same way with the Toyota. I just don't understand it. But yeah, it says 10,000 miles on it. So I got another 5,000 to go, basically. So you guys have a great night. Stay safe, like I said, and see you. Probably going to do another broadcast, but, gun related here in a minute. See you guys soon.